All right. So yeah, let me know what questions you have about applying to programs in the US, being a student in Hong Kong.
Yep. So I just graduated from a master, and I am looking at some great universities in the USA. Like I work on the biological and biomedical sciences, so especially on the cancer research, that's my interest. So when I was doing the preparing for my application, I have to um but when I reached those professors, like, do you have fundings? Do you have no, I mean, do you accept students? Do you will it be interesting to work with me and supervise me? The the answer they gave me would be you can apply through the committee. I can't make a decision. So I feel like I'm being stuck, and I want to get some exposure that possibly I don't know, possibly I can get a little push if they really like you.
Yeah.
So there's the thing that I wanted to do, like if there's a small chat for with the professors, talk about the research interests, talk about whether they have fundings, the lab culture, and these are the things I want to know. And I don't really know that if I have to go through the committee, is it necessary to do the things I want to do? So here's my question.
Yeah, so I understand what you're asking. So you want to know like how to go about networking with professors before applying. Is that correct? To help with your
Yep.
application. Yeah, this
Yep.
is something I like talk about so much on my channel and to students of this is really like a really key piece and at least what I found personally very successful in my journey in applying to PhD programs. So
Sure.
I want to start off by saying it is different based on different fields and disciplines. I know for most public health programs, for the most part, professors are willing to talk to students before applying to exactly do what you said. See if it's a good fit, see if they're taking students, what kind of projects they have, what funding they might have. All of that is they're more than welcome to at least just talk to you about it. Again, not promise anything, but have those chats, as you would say. But unfortunately, that's not the case in all disciplines. I've heard that in some like psychology programs, like clinical psychology programs, like no one will meet with students, or there's like certain programs that even have rules where like they tell faculty, like, you are not allowed to meet with any like prospective students just to make it
Mm.
fair for everybody. So that could be the case. So I don't know what might be specifically driving the reasons why some of the people you've reached out to may have responded in that way, but I wouldn't take it personally. It might be a school or program rule. It might just be that, yeah, they have a policy where they just don't meet with students, or that that person just doesn't talk to, people before applying. I don't know, but again, it's nothing personal. And I wouldn't like stop try like I would still try to reach out to professors at each program that you're applying to, but if they do send something back where they're like, yeah, I'm unable to meet with you at this point, like it's a program rule that like I have to wait until your application is in, then maybe I would just follow up with like a really nice message and be like, I understand. I really am just genuinely passionate about your research and how it aligns with mine. I really look
Mm.
forward to potentially working together. Please, and kind of like follow up in a very personal way. So at least you're doing everything you can to have
Yeah.
them remember who you are, even if you have like a very short email exchange. That's still something, that they saw about you before you applied. So better than nothing.
Yeah. So when I was preparing for my application, I looked at the frequently asked questions. So there's one question talking about whether you should email the professor prior to your application. And some programs may say you are welcome to do so, but they can't promise you something. But this is the thing I want. I this is the thing I just want to talk about and gain the exposure that I can maximize the chance of seeing them
Yeah,
and let them remember me. So
exactly.
this is the thing I want to do. So do you have any suggestions on writing an email in this situation? Like I know it's a committee policy that I can't meet, or I mean I can have your promise, have your words or something like that, but I still want to talk about research and your culture. Anything I can ask for. Do you think
Yeah, so you're
yeah,
saying if they refuse the meeting, like, what else can you say?
yeah. Something
I
like that.
mean, I don't know. I mean, because you don't wanna toe the line of, like, being too pushy and, like, they're
Absolutely.
already like, "I can't meet with you, it's our policy." Then maybe just say something like, "That's" don't say it nicely, but like, "Oh, that's too bad, I was really looking forward to chatting with you. I really do think our research aligns." And then, like, really briefly, like, explain, like, in a very impactful way, why your research and their research matches together. And then just be like, like, I really just wanted to have a
Mm.
quick chat about your research interests, or how our research interests align so well, but I understand if that's not possible. So, like, kind of saying, like, are you sure you can't talk to me, even if it's just about our research? But um, again, I wouldn't keep asking for the meeting if they're saying, like, it's against policy, like, I can't do this. You can kind of frame it as like, oh, like, I wish I really could meet with you. This would have been a great conversation, but if we really can't, then that's okay.
Oh,
There's not much
absolutely.
more you can do. You know,
Understood. Yeah,
yeah,
just want to be too like giving too much burden to the professors.
yeah,
So another question I would like to ask is about networking. Like, when one's preparing for the application, how much weight do you think, from your perspective and from your surroundings, how much weight do you believe the recommendation letters are in the application? Like, I don't have any good networking in USA. Does it discredit anything, or I don't know, the
yeah.
recommendation list? Can you
So
comment on that?
So I don't think it matters that, the people in the US might not know who's writing your letters from Hong Kong. I don't think that's a big deal, but I think it is important to think about who you're asking the letters from. Like, are they professors? Are they actually people who supervise you? Like, you shouldn't have like a coworker or a colleague or friend write the letter. It definitely should be someone who supervised you or advised you, or was a professor in one of your classes, like a little bit of like status. And make sure that it's sort of like each letter, that they're not all kind of like the same. You don't just have like three professors who like taught you biology writing a really similar letter. Like, get a couple of, someone who might have supervised you in the lab, someone who then saw how well you performed in a classroom, and then maybe someone else who saw you in a different professional way. But try to get three kind of slightly different but very representative letters. And it doesn't matter, like, if like that who they are per se, like, it doesn't in terms of like, they don't need to be like super famous, or like, like leading international cancer researchers. Like, it's fine, they just have to have had the experience of working with you, advising you, supervising you, teaching you, etc.
If I am to ask one more question, um, do you have imposter syndrome? If do you have imposter syndrome, like when you get in the PhD? Like, I am looking for the highest possible, the academia, the institutions, they are really good. I sometimes may think that, am I qualified to enter those institutions first to do some research? So that made that I
Yeah,
don't have, yeah, I just don't have
I
the
get what you're
motivation.
trying to say. Yeah. uh
Should we try for that, or it's a complete waste of time, something like that?
no, I understand your question. So first of all, the imposter syndrome never goes away. I still experience it. I on a day-to-day basis, including today, woke up and I'm like, am I ever going to find a professor job? Am I fit for this academic world? I think that these thoughts all the time. So, I just want to say like, it's really unfortunate that we have to feel this way, but you're not alone. And,
I'm not alone.
but in terms of your application process, so I say this to everyone that I help with applying, which is it's always good to aim high in terms of the types of programs you're applying to. But I strongly recommend that people apply broadly because unfortunately, PhD programs are a numbers game. And I say this all the time. And I think that's kind of where like you shouldn't have imposter syndrome because I genuinely think that everyone, when you get to the point where you've decided, like, I want to apply to a PhD program, you by then have great research experience, a great seat. Like, you will not have made that decision to apply if you don't have the credentials, if you don't have the background to succeed in a PhD program. Like, generally, people like have accumulated a certain kind of experience that have made them a wonderful student. And that's why they decide to apply to PhD programs. So really everyone I talk to who's applying to PhD programs are so incredible and amazing and bring very diverse experiences, but there are still only a certain number of spots at certain schools. And it doesn't matter how amazing, you can have 100 people who are all equally amazing and the same, but there's only 2 spots in the program. They're not going to just create 98 more spots to give them to everyone who's equally amazing. So then it starts coming down to like subjective things or just like little differences between the applications that we don't know how to tease apart. So, or like how to predict to like maximize while you're applying. So I always recommend to people because there are only so few spots at each school. Sometimes you won't get into a program not because you're not good enough, but because there's just not enough spots. And so with that said, I love that you want to aim high, you're, going for like the top programs in your field. But if your goal is to just get a PhD, which at the end of the day, that's what matters is just getting the PhD. I would recommend applying to a couple more
Good
schools that
school.
are not as highly ranked and maybe not as competitive as some of the top schools you were mentioning. And having like, I guess, like I said, a range of different like levels of schools to really maximize your chances of getting in. So I would really highly recommend that you consider expanding the number of schools that you're applying to and have them not all be like Ivy League schools. And it's, you're going to write it's going to be the same materials that you, for the most part, send to each school. So it's not a huge lift to add a couple more schools to your list.
Uh, well, that's that's really good. But yeah, that's really good. So just want to say thank you for the time that um having this information I can forward. Like I was trying to like after I meet you I can draft my email and then write a better email to send some cold calls, and even if they won't accept a meeting or start a meeting with me, I'll be sending the email again. So
Yeah.
yeah, that
Again, a light nudge, not a you have to meet with me, but a light nudge and yeah, just follow up is totally okay.
yeah,
Uh,
I'll be keeping a close eye on your YouTube videos
yeah,
and on the application information and some experiences, and thanks for enlightening me.
yeah, of course. Yeah, if you have other questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to. It's still pretty early in the application process. We're just hitting the start.
Yeah,
So if you come across any other questions, feel free to reach out.
thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
of course. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day. Good luck with everything. And I'm here cheering you on.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.